I hope everybody is able to hear me clearly. So today we have Mandala Art going. And before we start the session, I usually do a small prayer, just giving thanks to Lord. Lord, thank you so much for this blessed and beautiful evening that you have given for each one of us here. We just commit each one of them who's come here, Lord, into your hands. As we sit here to learn, as we sit here to explore the talent that you have given for us, we pray and ask you, Lord, that you will cover us completely with your love, as we will be able to learn this and share with others as well, Lord. Be with each one of the families here, be with the children, be with the entire group, Lord. We pray that, Lord, your protection will always cover us. Thank you so much for everything that you bless us with, Lord. We give this time into your hands. We pray and ask that you will lead us and help us to walk in the way that you really want us to walk in, Father. We give you all praise, honor, and glory, Lord. In your precious name, we ask all this. Amen. Okay, so I usually begin with instructions like, what we use, what kind of materials we use. And so I'm going to walk you through the materials for this session here. As I said, we are doing a mandala art. Now, what is mandala art? Mandala art is like, it could be any figure, anything that you put in. You're going to fill up with some geometrical figures, like, the small, it could be circles, it could be squares, it could be, just curves, anything. And it's more closer to doodling. If you have known, like, we usually take a pen and pencil, draw in all the corners and sides when a class is being taken, or when you're talking to someone, your minds and thoughts get filled up with something, and that's what you're actually doodling in. And this mandala art has become more a therapy form of art for many people, because you actually concentrate and focus. Even if it is for 10 minutes, 15 minutes, you're giving yourself into it. And you know what? When you are sitting focused in that, or focused in this kind of an art, what happens? You are actually expanding the space of what you can put into your head also, because when you're idle, there are so many idling thoughts that comes by. But when you keep yourself occupied, like, when you're going to draw these geometrical figures into these set spaces, what happens is, like, your concentration is focused, you're committed to add something there, you're committed to fill that particular space. So you're looking into something and you're diverting yourself from all the other things that's happening around you. And this is a good form of art if you really enjoy it. It could be any shapes. You draw a butterfly, you draw a chair, you draw anything with this mandala art, like, filling up that with geometrical figures. You start to find passion in it, and sometimes you use that for various, with colors and everything, whatever you feel like. I'm just going to mute everybody who's just joined in. Okay, so the first material that you usually need for a mandala art is your paper. It could be an A4 size paper, or it could be the book. Oh, sorry. So I'm using, I love to use this one, Derwent Academy's heavyweight paper sketchbook. I use it for my sketches. I use for my mandala art, like, I have a couple of sketches, mandala art, like whatever I can put in. This one, what happens is, like, it's a very thick quality paper. It doesn't show back much, like, it doesn't come out much. It doesn't bleed through. So I would say that, if you can get something of this kind of a heavyweight paper, it really helps you with doing mandala art. And so that's the paper that I'm kind of talking to you. I am just trying to see. See, this is a mandala art which I did in this one, and it will not bleed through. That's what I'm trying to say. Like, it will not be that bad. So you can use this kind of paper, which is really good, or an A4 size normal printing size paper will also do good. Okay, so with that, that's your base. You need a paper for it, and then do any type of sketch. That's fine. What will you do the sketch with? So I have pens, which is used specifically for the mandala art. Now I'm using pens which has got tips like 0.6, 0.4, 0.8. It comes in the pair of, I think I have 10 pens, which is for each different sizes. Why do you need different sizes here? Because when you start filling up any of these figures in, there are different small, tiny dots and tiny kind of squares and rectangles that you're going to draw in. So you can't use the same size because it doesn't give that different perspective. If you want to give a 3D perspective, 2D art, you need to have that different variation, which these pens allow to give it. Now, you don't have to purchase all these pens if you don't want to. It's up to you. You can use normal, these kind of gelling pens or a normal ballpoint pens too, or like these kind of pens which has got different colors. You can use this pens also to do the mandala art. Nobody's asking you that you have to have specific pens, specific pencils to do this. No, it's your way of showing your inner self. Go ahead and do it with anything. Some like to color it, so you can use this kind of pens also, which is a fine liner color pens, which are the tips are very, very thin, and these are also good to use it for a filler here. So these are your resources here, and I did pass on the sketch for you to do it beforehand so that it's more easier. With that, we shall begin. So now what happens is, like, whenever you draw any of your any of the sketches here, you're trying to fill that space with geometrical figures here. And when you're trying to fill it up, there would be spaces where, you have to give shades, you have to fill that small little space with darker colors and shades. And that's what I'm going to show you here. So with this butterfly, I'm going to start off with the center here. So if you have the sketch done, it'll be easier to follow through. If you don't have a sketch, is there anyone here who hasn't done the sketch? Do you have a butterfly with you? You don't have a butterfly? If anybody could raise your hands using the sign that you have. I guess everybody's got a butterfly then. Even if you don't have a butterfly, don't worry, draw a circle or, draw a moon, whatever you feel like, it's okay. All you're going to see is like, how are we going to fill this up with? And that's what we are here. So let me begin with the center point here, the midriff of the butterfly itself, because that's more easier to fill in the first one. So we can give any designs. I sent you a picture with already pre-filled, designs and everything. You can use that as well. Now, if you see, there are lots of YouTube tutorials which talks about the mandala art, like what kind of designs you can use, what kind of basic structures we can use to fill up all these pictures and, the figures that we draw in. So there are plenty and plenty of designs there. Like there's so many there. You can use any one of them, whichever you feel like. And there is no set form and rules, but when you have flappy wings, like, you're trying to do similar kind of figures in both the sides. If you don't want that, again, it's your art. Whatever you do is the best. So go ahead with that. And for this one, if you have the sketch already, let's begin with the midriff portion here. I'm using the size 4, which is thicker size. And as I said, if you like any designs, go with it. I'm just going to go with this kind of pattern. So as I said, you can do whatever you want to do. And whichever sizes that you want to fill in, we can slowly fill it up. And this is one way of releasing your mind stress here, because whatever it comes in, you're actually getting focused into this. Okay. And then, so now I'll show you with my, I'll show you what I was trying to say with all the different kind of pens and nibs. Like this is my thicker pen, which is 0.8. And for this, you don't need to be a very good, sketch. You don't need to know sketching. You don't need to know, like, charcoals or anything like that. Just any shape, and you're going to start filling it up. And the more you fill it up, the more the prettier the picture looks like. And if you're on unmute, please, can you mute yourself?
Don't want coffee, mommy. Don't want coffee.
I'm sorry, I had to mute everybody because I was hearing someone's conversation. Okay, I hope everybody can hear me now. I'm not sure whether I'm muted myself. Okay, so go ahead and do whatever you feel like you want to give in, but go with the pace, like just finish up one particular place before you move into another one. Don't leave it hanging in half. Okay, so I want to do this one. And whenever you're trying to fill up in the mid space or something, please make sure that you have something going on. And whatever you fill up with, nobody is going to question you about it. So don't worry about how you're filling it. What are you filling it with? Yours is different from mine, so don't worry about it. See, whatever you're filling, it's beautiful, it's nice, it's good. So go ahead and fill it up. And or you can use my own fillers, what I'm using here. And this one, usually you have more of your circles, rectangles, squares, those kind of shapes that comes by. And all of my supplies, I get it from Amazon because it's more easier than I have to kind of look around everywhere. So if you feel you have an Amazon, like the delivery comes by near your place, try to find for the cheaper stuff. No expensive stuffs are needed for your hobbies now. Slowly, when you start getting into it, you might want to put in more, kind of quality based if you want to look into that way. But otherwise, please try to stick with whatever your budget allows you. And more interest that you gain in, the more you feel like you want to do something more towards it. See, we are actually filling up with all the spaces. And that's the first space that we filled it up, right? And whatever you do in this space, it's your space. Do it. No worries at all. So now I'm going to use my, I'm going to try how this is going to come by. Now, if you've done the midsection, we're going to do the wings here. So follow through as we want to. In the wing section, I'm actually filling up my butterfly wing with a little bit of borders here. So it looks nice and neat. Okay, so that's the first thing that I did. And usually in the borders, I don't know, I like this kind of a design which goes by. And I have taken this particular design from Safi Art, who's doing this YouTube videos for all mandala art, and she has so much of sketch videos. It's kind of neat. So if you see, I'm actually drawing circles and coloring up all the spaces in between. You should not be having any white spaces. And make sure that, whatever designs that you're putting in, it is closer to the borders or it's closer to the wing end. And some of them like to do it very fast. It's not about fast, or it's not about like, you want to finish something here. You take your time, you kind of, get into that mood completely, like how you're learning something and you want to keep it for yourself for a long time, right? And that's what happens here. And learning a hobby is always good because the more the mind sits idle, the more it gets occupied with so many other things which you don't want it to. And when you learn something new, always try to share with someone else also, because that's where learning takes place. Because the more you start sharing, the more you feel like you want to do and learn something. And this particular art, mandala art, it's like a very old-fashioned art also, you can say, because there is no specific rules to it, but nowadays you can see that it's been incorporated into many forms. Like you can see names are written using mandala art. You can see that small structures like your vases, flower vase, like anything which you see has got something to do with this geometrical figures and spheres, or with rectangles. And then they call zentangle designs, which is more of all these 3D art figures also is there. And ideally what you're trying to do is, try to create something and make it look more better. And this will really help your concentration. This will help you to commit yourself something, to be focused. And what happens during all these processes, like your mind gets decluttered very much easily, and you're able to fill in with good thoughts. And that's what ideally we need to have. Fill up your mind with good thoughts, fill up with something that you really want and you have passion for it. And always remember, whatever you do, you're doing it best. Whoever says it against it, don't go with that. I'm saying the good things. If you've done something wrong, of course, make sure that you speak to the person, seek apology, kind of clear up that air. Don't keep that as a heavy burden within yourself. But don't allow people to judge you just because they saw you once, or they're going to value on the first meeting that they had. Okay, so this is one side of it. If you want to be consistent in what you want to do, you can actually do it together. So you can do both the wings. And don't worry if the lines are going back and forth, or it is not looking good or great. Don't worry, we will fill it up with something else in that. And I'm using the pen directly. Some of them prefer to use pencil on it and then later fill it with a pen, like the any darker color. So again, it's your choice. Since I'm showing it to you directly here, I'm using the pen. Like if I want to take time to design, to think about what kind of design I want to put it in each places, or if I'm using so much of the geometrical figures, then with compass or with pencils, then I use my pencils there, because I don't want to make any mistakes in my designs. But for now, I know that I just want to give my border. And this can be taught to your children, like all the younger kids also, anybody for that matter. If they are free, or if they feel like they want to fidget with something, they don't know what to do, you can always introduce them to this art. It's not an expensive art to learn, or it's not an expensive hobby to keep in yourself. I know some of them find it very difficult to learn directly from YouTube, or even to apply that, but there are so much of beautiful tutorials in the YouTube, which may really help you to find the passion that you're looking for, or the space that you want, a new hobby to learn. And there are many people who are actually taking that time to do these things. The editing, how much of time that they spend on all of these YouTube videos. Like, I don't know, unless you get into it, you will not know how much of time and effort they put into it. And never quit. Like when you start something, try to finish it, like, wherever it is, however you are coming in through, try to put all your percentage of efforts into it, because sometimes people may recognize for that, and you will never know who is talking to you, who is seeing you, what is happening in your life. But somewhere something is happening. That's why you had that interest to join in that particular hobby, art, or work, or any place for that matter. Oh yes, I'm using, currently I'm using 1.2 Lavanya, more thicker pen, because if I use a thinner one, you will not be able to see. Because I tried using the 0.6, but then 0.6 was very thin. So I thought I'll stick to the thicker ink. And if you're using the gel pens are also really good, because it gives you a beautiful flow in the ink. And if your paper is not bleeding, it's good to use thick pens, like thick inks. If your paper is a bleeding type, use a thinner one, please. So my butterfly's top wings are almost getting done with the design that I've put it in. And there are people who sit with mandala art for hours and days, because their designs will be too intricate, too, like, it's so detailed. It's again, it's your own self thought of what you want to do with it. So for me, I'm happy with this. Okay, let's do, what can we do next? I think I'm gonna, okay. I'm using the same pen here because it is at least dark. And I've already given you the picture in WhatsApp. So if you want to do with that design also, you can go ahead and do it. No harm in that. Okay. And I'm doing simultaneously on both the wings, because it's more easier to follow through like that for me. But for you, if you want to do two different wings with two different ways of designs and everything, please go ahead and do it. Okay. Again, it's your design, however you want to give in, please. And when you're doing anything, make sure that you want to put in fine details, go ahead and put the fine details in. But don't leave any empty spaces, so that it looks like as though it's not completed kind of thing. Don't have to give that look. And hope you're able to see. If you have any questions, yeah, you can put it in chat, or you can kind of take off your mute and then come and ask me, like go unmute and ask me. Okay. And when you're drawing these lines, it's good to have thinner pen. But again, I have not changed it here. And find whichever is comfortable for you, because for some of them, gel pens work well. Some of them pencils work well. Okay. So that looks kind of okay for me. Now, I just put a dot in the center and I drew a circle around it. Okay. As I said, again, whatever designs that you want to give in, please go ahead and do it. All you're trying to do is make a beautiful geometrical shapes inside this butterfly to fill it up completely. And there is no hard and fast rules to put geometrical designs, like it should be circle or it should be in this form. Whichever is soothing for you, go ahead and do it. And slowly you will get the hang of it. And then you will start designing, oh, I want to put in different shapes here. I want to do it different way. Because in the beginning, whenever we do any form of art, we just try to see how best can we replicate it. And when you're doing the replication, it may happen in whichever way it comes by. And I'm just trying to go from this side now, from the inner circle, so it's more easier. And usually you will see that everything follows with the semicircle patterns. And when you start shading it with the black, it looks beautiful. See, like your picture will start forming some new definitions now when you look into it. And what am I doing? I'm just trying to fill up that space, right? My shapes, my designs may not be the same, but that's okay. And as I'm going in, I'm trying to show you also. So if you have any questions, do let me know. If you see, my figures are all with circles and straight lines. I somehow find it more soothing for me. I love to keep everything simple. And if you see, I'm trying to introduce another new design with straight lines, but it is just like a triangle shape. Okay. And I'm trying to do it in the same way here so that it looks more symmetrical, because I don't want my wings to be too odd looking wings. But again, butterflies are different. So you can go ahead and do what you feel like. And I'm doing it directly in front of you so that, you know, just to let you know that you can also do it. You don't need any specific skills, any training for this. You all are capable of doing it. If you watch me, I'm just doing step by step in the same place. Like I'm not doing anything different. It's all the similar kind of lines, circles, half moons. And that's how you kind of introduce new designs into your sketches. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to introduce some geometrical figures here. So if you see, I just introduced some symmetrical terms here. That's it. And you can do it by yourself too, like whichever designs that you want to give in. See, I didn't do anything here. I just drew some lines in between. I'm just doing some squares here. It's very simple. You know, you don't have to make it complicated. And introduce each designs slowly. If you're comfortable with half moons, if you're comfortable with circles, then go ahead with circles. If you want to do some rectangles, squares, then go ahead with that as well. And as I told you, I picked up everything from YouTube. I didn't have any specific skills to do these, just as it came by. Okay, I'm going to do the same thing here. Put some geometrical figures to look that 3D effect. And whatever you do with your figure, it's beautiful, it's gorgeous. Always remember and keep saying to yourself, you're bold, you're confident, you can do things. Nobody is stopping you from that. And you're awesome. Every talent that you have is beautiful, and you are doing it for the glory of God, so do it. Your creator is really happy in you. And next week we would be doing baking. So I'm thinking of doing cake pops. So I'll show you how to do cake pops. Very simple, very easy, such a sweet dessert that every child really loves to have a cake pop. Okay, somebody's unmuted there. And I'm gonna mute them. Yeah. And this is something your me time, people, like your 2 hours of your time is to take away the stress of the whole week or take away the stress of whatever you're doing. So there is no count of like what you want to do, how you want to do it. Whatever you want to do, learn something, do something. And I'm happy to offer what I know. I love cooking. I love painting. I love all these hobby stuff, like all these art. So I love to share those with everyone. So if you see, we have done the 2 parts of the butterflies. And so far it looks good. It looks nice. Now let's go ahead and do something more towards it. Okay, okay. So whatever designs that you want to give it. Don't think too much on it. I don't know what I'm doing, but I know for sure that I want 2 sides of my butterfly to have the same stuff. And you know what, when you start doing all these things, you will slowly have a interest towards doing fashion designing, or kind of doing all those clothes designs for yourself, for your saris, for your salwars, for your shirts, for your pants. You feel like you can do something more in that. And never stop your views and ideas with anything less. Like, go ahead, dream so big. All your dreams will come true if you want to place that, if you really want to go ahead with that. And dreams are the beautiful hopes that we have. It will come true if we put right direction into it, right foot into it. It will come through. But the first point is to make sure that you do it. Without risk, nothing happens. So take that risk. And if you notice, again, I'm going with all my circles. Very simple. Like, I am not even thinking of doing big stuff here. Just simple ones to fill up my space. And I'm still using my 0.6. And I love this pens because it is really beautiful. It comes out well for me. I've tried with ballpoint. I've tried with gel ink. I love the gel ink also. And I really like the Energel. I'm not kind of promoting it or something, but for doing this kind of work, it comes out very well. And if you see, I've just got some new designs there. I don't know what is that, but and all I did was to make sure that I put nice big circles here and there, and that's it. And I'm doing it before you itself. As I repeat again, it's very simple. It's not hard. It's all about you focusing on something and doing it. It's your me time. So do it. And you need that me time for yourself. Like we do so much of stuff every day in our lives. You have to give that time for yourself to do something so that your mind can kind of grow something more. Okay, so that's my two-part stuff which is done there. For some who sees this, maybe it's boring. For some who sees it, it's maybe the beautiful project that they haven't had. Again, it's each one's it's each one's prerogative to see, like, you know, how you want to see it. Why are you seeing it this way? So never judge anyone for anything. If they understand you, it's good. If they don't understand you, still it's good. And you are cool. You're good. Keep on saying that. You're bold. You're bright. Okay. I'm just going to fill up some spaces which I see here. And I'm using black to fill up my space instead of colors and all, because for me, black looks more elegant, more charming, if I have to say. So that's where I'm using black. It's your colors. You go ahead and do colors if you want to. And this time that I'm asking you is for 2 hours, is like, you know, it could be done before also when we are done, but this is your time. So if you are here, spend your time here fruitfully. Like you want to learn something, then learn. If you want to do something, then do. Want to watch something? Yes. But you know, at the end of the day, by just watching and not doing it doesn't make anything, right? You should have some stress buster, but use that stress buster for yourself to learn something if you can. That's my simple thought, because there is so many things in this world that we can learn. We don't have to limit ourselves in our learning. Reading is a good habit. You have to, if you really like into reading, go into that. It opens the world of adventures. It brings you into places where you have not even imagined it to be. It comes in openness where the characters come live. Okay, so that's kind of a design that I've put in there. Let's go explore. Mm-hmm. So if you see, I'm not even going with like whatever comes by, I'm just going with that. And use all your time well for doing something, because you know we never know what's in it for us the next moment of our life. With COVID, we have seen so much of things that's been uncertain, so many things that's happened which we never expected it to happen. So use your time well. Okay, let's see what else can we place in here. Yeah, I'm just going with what comes in my head now. And it will come beautiful. Don't worry about it. And as I said, whatever you do, it's beautiful. And next week will be more hands-on, so more of into baking and how you can do quick baking. I just don't like to stand in kitchen for hours. I love to do everything fast, quick. And so I'll show you how we can do it more faster. If you have kids who will really love enjoying all these things, you can really do that also. Okay. For some, it may be very boring, this particular art. Again, it's your choice how you want to take it. For some, it may be very, very peaceful. Hi, the butterfly is getting done. Okay. And if you see, I'm not going in the traditional form of doing the same stuff. I'm doing it very different. And you can do it. And however you do it, it's your design, it's your butterfly. Nobody's going to say anything to you. Okay. And whatever you put in, that's yours. I'm just trying to bring that highlights here with the filling up of black in betweens. Because if you watch carefully, the picture will look more beautiful if you start bringing that out. Okay. Next is, let's do, okay, let's do this. Okay. So if you see, I'm basically not doing anything much here. Just following the same pattern in both the sides. My wings, two part is done. Anybody, any questions? All of you good? Okay. Now, moving on to the next one. If you've been following me through, then You would be in the same place where I am doing now. And here also I'm going with the same kind of style, doing it together in the both the sides. And when you're drawing the border lines, it would be good if you can make it dark. And always encourage yourself to keep doing something instead of idling away. That's very, very important. You want to read a book, you want to listen to music, you want to do something effective, then keep doing it. Don't forget that time once gone is gone. You never can get back your time. We don't have any time machines here, so we have to walk with what we have to do with what we have. Again, I'm going with my circles, lines. Yeah. Sometimes you may feel that your hands are not steady, you're not able to draw what you really want to draw. Don't worry, you will get to it. When I was doing this at first, I was like, why am I doing everything in circles? Why can't I do something different? But then slowly I started to understand, yeah, it looks beautiful. Not the same, Mika. For me, every week the class changes. So this week it's mandala art. Next week it's cooking. After that it's baking, and after that it's abstract. So every week there is different classes going on at the same time. I have an acrylic painting class, which is the same throughout. I'll be teaching acrylic painting there. That's on Saturday mornings. Like I'm talking about the Calgary time here. But for the Friday evening, it's a hobby class. So every week you're introduced into a new hobby. So you will not be having this repeated. Like today it's mandala. I showed you how mandala art is done, and that would be it for now. So you might come back to mandala art after maybe third month or fourth month, but not now. And I think after baking and cooking, you have crocheting. I will teach you how to do crocheting. So we can do scarf, we can do small tea coasters. So that's what we will be doing. And if you're in the WhatsApp group, I will send you the updates of the materials, and I will show you what exactly you need to have. Was that the question, Mika? Did I answer you? Um, so is Mika there? Did I answer you, dear? If you show your hands or if you show yourself and let me know, I would be happy to know that I've answered it. Yes, the hobby class is going for the whole year, but you will have different hobbies. Did I answer you? Thanks, dear. So yes, the whole year I'm planning to conduct this free classes so that as much as I have learned, I want to share it with everyone. So every week you get to learn something new. And I will be posting that in the WhatsApp so that everybody knows what's up for this week. And you can also check the YouTube just to learn by yourself if you want to. But again, I say that please come to the live session because that's your me time. And I want you to use your me time for yourself. Do something productive for yourself. Learn something for yourself. It could be singing, dancing, whatever you want to do, but do something for yourself, because once when the time is gone, it's gone. You can't get it. And how much ever we perceive to get it, or like we want to do something, perseverance is there, but sometimes we lose it because we don't have the time, or we don't have the mood for it. We don't have the emotions for it. So what you have now is very precious. So I'm just shading it up in the places where there was that white space when I finished drawing the circles. Okay. All good. So again, let's go do something else with this now. Okay. Okay. Let's do simple lines then. And I'm not choosing to do anything complicated here because I just want to enjoy what I do. I don't want to make it like, oh my God, I made it so difficult for my own self to see and understand. No, 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 no. Hobby is something that you have love for it. You have passion in it. So don't expect me to do anything complicated in this. I'm a person who loves simple stuff. I enjoy it. I give 200% into what I do. Okay, I think this looks nice. Initially, I wanted to do some shading and stuff, but then this is perfect. And I'm still using my 0.6 here. My 0.6 is going off ink now. But still, it looks nice. Okay, it's little light. I'll try to make it a little darker. Yeah. Okay, let's see what else can we do here. Okay. Okay. Again, I'm just doing some designs. If you want to continue and give the same thing what I'm giving, feel free to do so. No one is stopping you. Okay. And let's fill up the space as well. Okay. That's okay. That's good. Now let's see what else can we do. I somehow like all the butterflies with so much of round shapes here. I don't know why, but whenever I do anything of this sort, I really love to put all circles into it. Life is a full circle, right? When we think about it, life is very much a full circle. Wherever we started, we come back the same way. As a child, we were fiddling so much that we couldn't even walk without somebody's help. And as we grow and come to an age where like 80 and or 70 plus or 80 plus, we still need someone's help, right? We become a child. We become a child then. We kind of look forward for if somebody can explain to us something more. What's happening? Can somebody help us walk even for a little distance? Maybe we need that help. So it's about like what we give and what we come back to. So during this time, during this process of your life, make sure that, whatever you have, you share, you give, you enjoy those moments. Because when that moment is gone, it's gone. You can't get it back. Time just flies by and nobody can do anything about it. Okay. What else? Do I mind taking? Okay, let's do this one. Where did I go with this one? Okay. What do we do here? Oh, yeah. If you have seen tiles, if you have seen those mosaics and everything, how beautifully they come up with some designs there, I really always wonder, like, from where do they get that ideas also? And it's nice to put that in patterns now, right? When you see the patterns, you feel like, yeah, I've watched this, I've seen it somewhere. And as you were doing this, you would have felt like, what is this? I'm just doing some circles, some lines and everything, but it will come through well. And that's what I'm trying to say, like, whatever you put your heart into it, it is good. It will come well. And I was doing this along with you. I didn't have any pre-preparations here. So you can also do it. You don't have to be skilled. You don't have to know about drawing, sketching, anything. Just go ahead, take a paper, pen, and start doing it. Sometimes all those doodling is what becomes the art of the year. And you never know who's going to see that. Sometimes the person who is seeing that will have that artistic eyes, who's like imagining so many other things there. And you may become famous, or you may become wherever your dreams are taking you into. So never stop yourself in that. And don't believe anything lesser than what you have to. Always go bigger. And whatever you do, it's good. Always remember that. Whatever you do, it's beautiful. Okay, let's see what kind of designs am I going to put in here. I think my butterfly is coming out well. It's got some elegance to it, though I didn't expect it to come out like this. Make sure that if you're using black ink, make sure that you kind of fill up all those in between spaces so that there is no white space spaces seen. Excuse me. And I go filling up and then kind of do it itself because I don't want to come back and do it. I try to finish up in one go. But again, it's your choice. If you want to kind of fill up the designs and then later fill it up with your black and stuff, go ahead and do that way also. See, the butterfly is getting done. Sorry. Let's see how this is going to come. Okay. And if you watch me, I've just done the whole of this butterfly designs with circles, with lines, with dots. I didn't do any complicated designs here. And as you're doing it, make sure you fill it up. Okay. Eee, that part of the design is done. Okay, let's see what else can we do in this. What did we not put? Oh, yeah, we can put in that kind of a design too. Let's see, what is that? What is that? How does that come by? Oh, yeah. Okay. Okay. So here I'm just putting like seashells, just trying to give it a different definition here. That's it. Something little bit different. Mhm. So these are all fillers, that's all. I'm not doing anything at all. I'm just using some fillers here and there to fill up my butterfly. There are plenty of designs that you can use, which you will slowly come to it when you start doing this. And that's all I'm doing. I'm just filling it up what I have to get it with. See, I didn't do anything bigger, better, or whatever it is, but I'm just doing what I can. And you can also do it. Mm, okay, what else do we do here? Um, and if you have seen those mosque or any temple tops, you will always see that triangular structures. You can actually use those things also here. Those also becomes good fillers for all these mandala art. See, I didn't do anything. Just go ahead. And when you start doing it, you will also find that, slowly your thoughts and your thinking will be like, oh, what can I do to join these together? What should I fill up with this? Is it something neat? Is it something nice? And you will start looking things like which comes into your place, into your being in a different way now. You will start appreciating any form of art. Even if you say that you don't know about art, slowly you will start feeling it. Now we have too small space to fill it. Let's see. And You can go ahead and fill it with anything you want to. And I'm showing you some simple designs here. You can make it more intricate, more, whatever you want to feel it like. For me, it is just like, I want to use this time well. I want to use it beautifully. Make a simple design, make it more me. Okay, my part of the butterfly, the side is done. And yes, when you're using this type of art, when you're doing this kind of painting, your inks will get done quickly. But with everything, there is something that you've done, right? So this is just like paints. It is not going to last for long. Make sure that you fill up all your white spaces. Otherwise, it doesn't look that great when you're using a black pen. Ha ha ha, I'm done. So my mandala art, that's for you. And if you see, we have covered that space well. We've used all the spaces. We've filled it up well too. And this is just like how you fill up your brain space too, with all good and beautiful things. Make pockets and see like how best can you fill those pockets with something, with reading some good materials, connecting with friends who are of your same frequency length, connecting with art, or connecting with handiwork stuff, something which will always keep that mind in a positive way, which will give more energy to you and always keeps you well too. Because the more the mind sits idle, you start putting in thoughts that you don't want to think about, like you want to talk about someone else, you want to think about why did he get, why did she get, why didn't I get, all those kind of rejections or hurt, those kind of feelings. So this type of an art will always make you focus into something and will also help you to kind of think bigger. We always think about the big picture, right? Because when we saw the butterfly in the first thing, it was just plain butterfly. There was just a sketch there. When we started to fill with things, how beautiful it turns out to be. And that's what you're from inside. You start filling up with so many things that comes into your life. And as much as you start filling it up, that much of things that is coming to share with others as well. And don't let anybody else talk it out. Like, you have everything with you. You're such a beautiful, you have such wonderful quality in you. So never ever have anybody talk it down to you. Whoever says anything for that, if you can just take it in this year, let it off in this year itself. Don't even bring it to the next year. Be like that. Life is only one. Only you can live this life. Nobody else can live this life. And how much you use it, it's very, very important. And if anyone has any questions, anything that you want to ask me, please feel free to ask me. And I'm going to stop this recording now because the picture is done. And I'm going to give you the floor of asking questions.